Hey. I'm over here just like zoned the hell out. What's going on, girl? What's going on? Sorry. What's up? What's up? Happy Tuesday, is it? Trying to see if people will jump on tonight before I start. But what's going on with you, girlie? Hey, what's going on, Tink? Thanks for joining. Happy Tuesday to you both. Thank you for joining into the space. Oh, I didn't even realize there were people here. I've been so in my own world. I'm so sorry. Ah, it's been a day. Can you see the bags under my eyes? Is it not crazy? Just came back from Atlanta. Lit as always. I still have to go to Atlanta. I've never been still. Um, 1 second. But how are y'all doing? Hello to the four of y'all who have joined in. Welcome to the space. Welcome to the Yungfleur Live space. We are here on a Tuesday. I am back after a slight hiatus, as I do. Yeah, I needed a minute. I had like my younger brother like randomly popped into town the other day from Philly, where he lives. And so I hosted him for the weekend. So I was like, damn, couldn't even do my Sunday live like I was planning to, but I was gonna get y'all back. So here we are on the Tuesday. And I just want to catch up on a couple different things that have been going on, some of the fashion news, because this is like the latest update to some of the things that I talked about in some of my earlier lives on the Instagram space, which I don't know. How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling about this space, by the way, compared to the Instagram? I heard, I think I asked this before, and some folks were saying that it's easier to navigate, and y'all like that y'all can leave. You can kind of like leave it playing and do other things in the background. But I'm like, I might, pop back over to the Instagram every so often just to, see the vibes. And also because a big chunk of the following is over there. But anyway, back to Atlanta. Yes, I've got to make it over there. I have to make it to the South in general. Like, I've just been to like Miami Beach, which just feels like a tropical Times Square, like I always say. But yeah, we're here. And I wanted to talk about a couple things. So let me just go ahead and jump into it. Because it is already 9:19 on this side. Let me see what we got. But today I had a few different things. I've been talking on the Instagram stories. If you've been tuning in on there where I've been running my mouth a bit, we smoking or babe, can I smoke on here? Can I? Can you smoke on YouTube? If I can smoke on YouTube, it's lit, but I don't think I can. Can I? Do I want to test it out? I don't want no problems with YouTube and their censorship, child. I don't know what rules they have underway. I don't want to get myself blocked off another app and have them on my tail. Hold on, let me look it up. Can you smoke weed on YouTube Live? Uh, a sexy tail. I'm dead trying to figure out. Child, I could just roll up and figure it out, and from there, if I get banned, I get banned, and we figure it out. Let me see. I just might. But anyway, the things that I wanted to talk about today. Yes. What I wanted to talk about today before I get distracted once more. Um, I wanted to talk about, first of all, let's just get some of the past occurrences out the way. Coachella, have we seen the performances? Have we seen weekend two? Did we catch last weekend's performances? I don't even really want to talk about a lot of other people because to be honest, I didn't pay attention to any other people besides Doja and Uzi. Like those were the only two that I think really captivated headlines aside from Lana, but I don't know, child. Lana just gives a Lana style performance. Like that girl has the stage presence of a ladybug. I don't know. I feel like that's disrespect to ladybugs. I feel like ladybugs are a lot more lively performers. But I didn't pay attention really. Didn't even know they had two weekends. Yeah, babe. I be forgetting because I'm not a Coachella goer, and it's another one of those kind of things that happen that like I completely forget that it's coming around until it's like the week before it comes around. You know what I mean? It's definitely one of those for me. I feel like I would want to go to a Coachella, right? But I also feel like there definitely was a golden age of Coachella, and we have breached that and gone into another, social media TikTokified, kind of like newly packaged era of the thing that I don't think I would be too hyped to get in on. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the two performances. Of course, Miss Doja Cat and Lil Uzi. Very, very stunning performances from two very exuberant performers. What did we think for those who watched it? Tink, did you see it? Let me grab my tools in the meantime. Did y'all see it? Also, we're loving this new angle I gave y'all. I moved my bed around. I moved like my whole crib around. So now we are getting a different angle. I love it. I feel like I'm like keep my feet up, like very spacious. Yes, them hair people. Yes, them hair people was eating it up. Yeah, it was a great performance on Doja's, and like I feel like it was damn near a 10 out of 10. Aside from like the technical difficulties and things like that. But as far as like the concept, so genius. Like I love that like a few different things. You know what I mean? Like after this performance, it really just rang in the fact that like one of my first thoughts was like, wow, this girl really set out to be a fashion um kind of like fashion, I don't want to say icon, but she definitely from a certain point wanted to be very much wedged into the fashion scene and kind of a part of what was going on. Um and this was during her like trolling era still, you know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was just like, she's still kind of like a jokey, kind of trolly kind of girl. Like I don't think people are ever gonna take her, or the fashion industry is gonna take her seriously enough to give her access or kind of like cosigns like that. And like fast forward to now, Shorty has been in some of the most cutting edge, like pop culture meteorites of looks. Like as soon as she puts something on, it's like the topic of conversation every single time. And it's like so properly calculated. That's the thing. It's it's like calculatedly uncalculated. Like and I love the fact that they kind of have this toying between imbalance and balance and kind of like embracing this twisted, freakish, horror tinged sort of like narrative, but also making sure that they are very laser pointed and extremely intentional in the way that they incorporate all of these things. Brett Allen Nelson, I always talk about this man. Great client. But he is very methodical with the way that he handles his direction. Everything, every minute detail is for a reason. Like nothing is kind of like put together by happenstance when it comes to him. The styling of the pieces, the labels themselves, like there's a lot of this contextual sort of thing, very similar to Law Roach and his method of attack, where it is this kind of like chestnut checkers, kind of like putting together different, um, uh, kind of like different pieces that have their own contextual value together to kind of create a new storyline or kind of tell a familiar story in a new way. But that's a lever. You said it right for sure. I feel like let's even talk about the fact that she said that she wanted the whole experience, just to break it down, the looks, the whole backstory was that they were taking inspiration by hair. And so the whole idea is that it's a haircut. Long story short, the direction of the looks that she had on. And even at one point of the show when she's in the full kind of like hair dressed by Charlie the Mindu that we are going to talk about, she goes behind the whatever curtains or backdrop or whatever, and she appears to like shave herself, and she comes back out, um excuse me, with the baldy or the buzz cut, sorry. And so I think that the way that she kind of takes different themes or and takes certain anecdotes even from her own life and is able to kind of laugh at herself through her performance in all the different aspects of it, not just the music but also the fashion and also the staging of everything. Like it all is sort of like her twisted, playful, trolly mind, like always kind of entertaining this commentary that's happening around her and the way that she either observes it or responds to it. So I'm alluding to all that and I'm winding and winding around because she was saying that one, I believe it was the one of the single covers of the cover art for the deluxe version of her album, that has like the new songs on it, which are fire as well. Have you listened to the deluxe? Um, Chime in. Sorry, let me see if I can find. What am I missing now? Like, oh, yes, indeed, in my grabber. But hold on, am I scrolling down? Am I good? Yes, great. So, as I was saying, so sorry. Um, where was I? Where the hell was I? Yes, talking about a haircut. The outfits reflect the haircut and the way that. Oh yeah, so the whole thing was about how people were talking about the cover art. It was a zoomed in photo of her hair, which I thought was very obvious and very apparent. But of course, the internet is a lot slower and a lot faster than you would hope it is at the same damn time. And people were sending in all types of like fuck ass comments on what that cover was, saying that it was like pubic hair, saying that it was dog hair, saying that it was a carpet. And she responded on it in a live and just like, you know, was just responding to the ridiculousness that is kind of just the regular public response to Doja and everything that she does. And so the way that she went ahead and reinterpreted this kind of confusion, this wonderment, the craziness of how crazy it is. I like that she kind of takes some of these things and she kind of makes it even more dramatic to even go ahead and expose how ridiculous it is. Like, she's kind of just like, don't I look crazy? This is how crazy you guys look saying these things to me, or coming up with these ideas, or feeling comfortable enough to say these things. Like, this is how ridiculous, this is the world that y'all are living in. And kind of putting a mirror to that. What was I going to say? Charlie Lamindu and the hair dress. Let me see. Let me pull up looks. I might as well, right? Charlie Lamindu's hairdresser. So Charlie Lamindu, if y'all don't know, British-based, um, very amazing hairdresser. I've had the pleasure of working with him on a project before for a designer, and such a he's such a deviant in many ways. Like, if you get into him and or read, about him, or just look at his Instagram, you can see like he's definitely a provocateur. He almost like reminds me of like a Alexander McQueen-esque personality, and that it's just like almost this twisted kind of delight. Very sweet, very kind, from my interactions with him, and real regular. But he always has a penchant for coming up with these very imaginative hair designs, and he's done a lot of really creative designs for people that you may know from the past. Like, he's done Gaga, of course. Like, anyone that's done like some really sick hair art. He's had a good chunk of the work credited to him. But I want to see. It's crazy because I can't share the screen with y'all, so I gotta do it off my phone. But I really enjoyed the way that they put the choreography together, and of course the choreography. Motherfucking Paris. What is it? Is it Gobel or Gobel? Please, somebody let me know. Is it Gobel or Gobel? Either way, Paris, amazing choreographer. We've seen her work across for various talents, various clients, musicians, of course. She does the Savage X Fenty choreography season after season, year after year. She does Nike. She's a Nike ambassador. She actually has her own Nike shoe that dropped recently. Wasn't colorway wasn't for me, no shade, but yeah, she's kind of like a new heavyweight in the game as far as dance is concerned. And she came up with these really emphatic movements that really help, I think, make the hair bodysuits that Doja's um, backup dancers wore made it like more of a definitive moment. What else? What else? What else did I want to say? But yeah, it was a fine performance. Love the clear kind of like bodysuit, kind of like jacket moment that she had the two-piece accord set. That was designed by Natasha Zinko, actually. That was super sick. And then what else? Love that she switched to the bangs the second weekend. Um, oh, and the handbag, of course. The handbag situation. So I was talking about it in the stories, and this was kind of like what brought me on today. But let's talk about the handbag supremacy because I feel like the people are not properly giving it its just due. And but we're here. The era is very much underway. So what am I talking about? So this past weekend during Doja's performance, she had her bag on her arm on stage, and y'all know if there's one thing that I love that I go crazy about, it's about performer bringing their bag on stage. Like I love a rapper just rapping with her bag on stage, just like going with the bag because it's just like it's such a swaggy move to me. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the equivalent of like popping your collar or like kind of like I don't know, rocking the polo horse. You know what I mean? Like it's just this way of like flashing this kind of like casual flex. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I explained it plenty on the stories earlier. But either way, we got that from her in the beginning, walking around with her bag, giving you a little bit of a choreography moment as she's going to do. And I love that, like, I feel like it's been this trend that I've been slowly manifesting and it's coming up in bigger ways. Like we saw Ice Spice with her bag not too long ago at a performance. Uzi, getting into Uzi now. Uzi's performance, Uzi's a lot of things. I feel like he's in this like very David Bowie-esque era of his career where he's just about very aggressively tearing apart at, excuse me, kind of like very traditional perspectives. And you can call it trolling as well. Like I said, I feel like Uzi and Doja are very similar kinds of people, very similar kinds of thinkers and creatives, so it makes sense that they would end up with performances that had a similar kind of like twisted edge to them. Now, I don't know if the choreography, I mean, not the choreography, the styling necessarily compares. I'm still trying to understand what we were looking at. Like, let me see. Let me pull up my phone now that I have everything rolled on up. But I do have to show off the looks. For this one, I have to show off the looks. Like the Doja thing, please go ahead and do your guided reading. I do want to do a story about what was it? The jewelry that she had on, the necklace that she had on, because that wasn't a really interesting piece that she kept carrying over for every performance. But who am I looking at? So this was him on the first weekend, and he wore something that I feel like overall it tied definitely into this like romantic trend that we're seeing from menswear. Let me go ahead and do not disturb and learn my lesson. But we saw him in this Simone Rocha top actually, accessorized with a Rockefeller chain. And I don't know if you've seen his Instagram posts in the past, but it looks like he owns like 4 or 5 of these. I don't know why. I have no clue why. But he posed with a photo of him rocking like literally all of the chains back to back. But we see him here once again in the Simone Rocha, and then kind of like this, like tuxedo stripe, almost like military inspired pant. I'm here for the billowing. I'm here for the flounciness of it all with these larger sleeves. But I'm just like, what what is the blush? I do love the top. What is the blush? What is the blush doing? This is crazy. Like, I have no issues with him. It's very berries and cream. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to give with the red hair. Red is definitely Uzi's color, I will say. Ooh, this is another angle of it. This was a I like this outfit actually. It's not bad. I'm here for it. But what I'm not here for is the makeup. I'm just wondering, why did we make this choice? Where were we trying to go? Who is in charge of the direction? Because this just isn't what I would recommend. A damn shame. But after all that, it wasn't just this Coachella performance that did it, but last Sunday when he pulled up in what I believe was a Rick Owens top, screaming. I forgot how big his music is. Hi, Samia. I forgot how big his music is. He's in his rock star era. I definitely think he's. And the thing is that, like, some would say he's always been in his rock star era, but I think we're taking a different turn because the social media response to this, of course, was very polarized. Like, certain people who were like diehard Uzi fans, this was like a fork in the road for a lot of people where they were just very much in there, like, I can't keep defending you, Uzi. Not that he's ever asked to be defended. It's given, I'm gonna throw this on myself with my own brush. Right. It very much gave like him just doing his own little quick beat. It was different. It was different for sure. But let me pull up the look itself so we can give it some closer examination. Ugh, why can't I pull up photos? It's all off this fan Instagram for some reason. Got all the heat, all the good photos. I had this up in the web there. Hey Morgan, thanks for joining, Boo. But this was the weekend two look that we saw last weekend. Um, and I believe, like I said before, that's a Rick Owens top, judging by the shoulders. Not sure who the pants are by. But it's the frilly socks. There was a frilly sock Puma combo, which I'm wondering if he's hinting at some sort of an ambassadorship or maybe gifting by Puma under the direction of Rihanna and Rocky, because as you know, they both now are tied into the Puma family, and they both are big fans of Uzi. And I believe Rihanna has included Uzi in her drops in the past. We remember, of course, the famous live stream with the two of them getting high and vibing. Who is his stylist? I'm not sure who this is right now. I do have the hookup with a homie at Dover Street who was actually, when I was DMing about this yesterday, he was like, I was like, I don't even know what's going on. Remember, I was like, I don't even know the context. And my friend DM'd me and was like, listen, he's just getting started. And I'm like, oh, word? And he's like, he's in the store right now. I'm like, bitch, I was like, tell him we got some Chris Abana jewelry for him. Please, don't be stingy. Spread the wealth. But anyway, yeah, the frilly socks, the Sunday best frilly socks are a choice. But let me see what else I have that I can show. Like I said, it's the cookout gut hanging out for me. So real for that. Just let it hang. I don't know if this was an intended part of the look, but he said we could take it or leave it. I just feel like, is this fitting the way that it's supposed to fit? It gives me like Missy Elliott, Suck It To Me vibes. I mean, the shoulders look good here, right? But these socks are really a fool. And then the jeans just remind me of something that I would see like shopping uptown in the Bronx. I'm sure that they are very expensive, but the way they look, and at least the way that they are styled with this outfit, I'm not a fan. And then we see the Balenciaga underwear, probably trunks underneath. He loves Balenciaga, or they, I believe, I'm not sure what their pronouns are at this point. But anyway, they love them, these Balenciaga briefs or whatever it is. You'll see them rock them a lot. But my thing is just, I wonder about his hair. The dye is crazy. Like, the hair looks so bad. They them. All right, thanks for correcting. Because I was like, I believe they had made that announcement, but the hair. I don't know what kind of paste or dye or like. This is so bad. Mm-mm. Right. Very much said, I did it myself. So, everyone went crazy, of course, because they popped out with this croc Birkin bag, and was definitely in there. Never had nice hair. It's always looks fried. Okay, okay, true. Okay, very much true. However, I don't think that like it just looks even worse from this angle because I feel like normally I don't ever see their hair like pulled back. But I mean, clock that tea though. Their hair has always been fried, dyed, and laid to the side. But anyway, let's talk about the bag real quick. Everyone went crazy about the bag. Um, for those who don't know, this is the Hermes Himalaya Croc Birkin. It's known for being the most expensive model that they carry or that they make available, um, as they use the skin of the very rare Himalaya Croc. Now, this ain't just no regular Himalaya Croc, babe. First of all, Himalaya Crocs go for somewhere orbiting around 500K to start. To start. And we've definitely seen the Birkin bag grow in prominence, and in more so in mainstream visibility in the past few years. I feel like there was a steady climb in the early 2000s. But then once we reached, of course, this TikTok era, things took off. There was never this mass craze, and I feel like everyone that's like in this live right now is like from a similar era and can remember a time before, and can attest to what I'm talking about. But I'm like, there was never this kind of fanaticism um, over Hermes or Birkin bags until very recently, thanks to, once again, music, social media, and kind of people's eyes being trained more into what's happening in luxury fashion. Uzi shops at Hermes like that. Child, Uzi love rich shit like that. Uzi stays with some rich nigga antics. Lest we forget the what is it, the diamond in the forehead. And so I feel like once the Birkin bag came into the focus of hip hop culture in particular, it went in a different direction because hip hop for a very long time has always been a bit of a signifier, not a bit, but a signifier of what is cool. You know what I mean? And what cool people or people who want to be cool should be paying attention to. And so, of course, as we know, the name drops in these lyrics have astronomical potential in terms of bringing attention to whatever it is. And so now that we have the Birkins being something that people are rapping about, Cardi and Nicki and all of the girls now are constantly discussing Birkins, and everyone's collecting a Birkin allegedly. Even though I feel like the general public or a good majority of these people that are talking about Birkins still don't know that you can't just get a Birkin that easily. Not a real one, at least. Which is exactly why them two shorties out in California somewhere are trying to take them to court over it. I feel like the last time people went crazy over a bag was the Fruity Loop LV, but I'm also not a bag girl. Well, we definitely, I feel like the Fruity Loop, are you talking about the multicolored one? Those are, I think you might be talking about that. Let me know. The one with like the white, with like the multicolored LV symbols. That's their, if that's the one, then that's their multicolor damier. Or not damier, their multicolor monogram. Excuse me. But anyway, yeah, I feel like we got to a place. I feel like when it comes to trends, or when it comes to the space of like collecting these luxury things, and what we see a lot of folks do is go through this cycle of like, in the world of stunting on niggas, it's like, okay, this is this luxury thing that everybody wants to have, or is that coveted it piece of the moment. Now I have to try and find a way to top everybody else who has access to this thing now, because other people who can afford it can also get it. So now, how do I set myself apart? I've got to get the rarest one, the one that is least available, the most scarce model that they have, or I have to get the most expensive model that they have, something that prices out certain people from being able to obtain it. Now, the Himalaya Croc, being around 500K to start, is a mixture of the two. It is one of their rarest models and also their most expensive. Um, uh, what? I feel like the last time people went crazy. Oh, yeah, with the white background. Yeah, with the white background. Yeah, that's the Takashi Murakami monogram multicolor that you're talking about, Tink. I'm surprised this is the first lawsuit in the U.S. about the way they sell those bags. Facts. Yes, according to U.S. law, that practice is illegal. Open the door if you're gonna open the door. Empty out the museums. Yeah, child. You know they ain't trying to do all that. You know they Would never try to wake it up like that, baby. But for those who may not be aware, there were two women who were basically suing Hermes because of their practices and their conditions where they require um, Hermes shoppers to spend a certain amount before they are able to access Birkin bags. So in order to even, you can't even buy one in there just off rip. You have to spend a certain amount with the store before they make those available to you. And so in that way, they're forcing sales. Like they're tying in the purchase of one product into multiple other products in order for you to be able to get that. And so, yeah, they may have a case. I don't know, but the U.S. law is in a really interesting place, especially when it comes to the fashion industry. If they lose the suit, I see them pulling the sales of them in. Oh, absolutely! What? I think Hermes would. I'm certain would much rather say "fuck America" than let's like get with the times or get with Americans and follow American rules. You know that's the last thing. They are not trying to go out like that. They will gladly be like, okay, well, let me grab my things. Back on the next thing smoking. Speaking of which, but yes, let me wrap up this Uzi thing so I can talk about a couple other things before we end the night because we are already 41 minutes in, child. So Uzi. Where are we at with Uzi? Everyone's like, oh, he's got the bag. He's like, oh, y'all like my outfit. He's very much like giving cunty stunty 1 2 3. And the girls are like very upset about it, or people are very confused by it, or people are like, what's going on? Everyone's in a tizzy. Everyone's like, why are you doing this? Like, who are you doing this for? And it's like, it's for you, baby. It's for you who are going to free of charge reshare this information, reshare his performance, let people know that he's out here and that he's doing things. This is for you. This is what y'all live for, and this is what he's gonna give you. I also feel like Uzi has always, not always, but like a good chunk of his career has been like this speculation or kind of like a negative response to his more some would say effeminate or just more soft mannerisms. The way he'll stand or the way he'll kind of like speak to people, or just kind of like the way that he kind of approaches things a bit softer. Although Uzi never gave soft, because if you've seen this man throw down and run down on niggas, like very much so, like it's it may be giving performance, it may be giving duality. I don't know, you know what I mean? But he's definitely not like a weakling, no matter how he presents himself. And so I think, all right. I think that when you see him kind of like doing the crook of the like holding the bag and doing all of that and that kind of like hyper feminine performance, he's from Philly, exactly. When he's doing that kind of hyper feminine performance, I think that within himself, it ties into him kind of just being in this place where he is a provocateur, like I said before, and constantly challenging social norms. And also challenging social norms as a Black man, because there is that added layer of the experience. And that is a good chunk of his following as well. And the way that folks are going up to defend him now, or um, some folks are finding out that that's where their biases lie. But it's interesting because I think that in a bigger in a bigger field, from a bigger perspective, it ties into a topic that we talked about on a Yungfleur live before, which is this re-examination of femininity in the current age. Think about, the TikToks, the YouTubes of everybody rewatching Sex in the City, rewatching like movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s through this 2024 lens and talking about how shit was fucked up and people were fucked up and certain things didn't make sense. Certain things were unethical. Certain people were too young for this. Certain people were too drunk for this. Certain people were just not knowledgeable for this. Certain phrases were uncouth or intolerable. But these are things that we are only understanding now in the current climate that we are in, reviewing these things retrospectively, of course. So we've seen this constant revisiting of traditional hyper feminine tropes happening constantly. Think about the men wearing the nail polish. Think about and even starting nail polish lines like Lil Yachty, which I heard that that was a bust. That didn't go anywhere. But think about the nail polish. Think about uh, pearls. Think about the Barbie movie. Think about that 3 year hot pink tirade, which was the Barbie movie that was this 2023 or 2022 kind of re-looking at this beacon of femininity and what she means in this current modern age and how that fits around how people view themselves as women or as feminine people. I hand model for that line. The polish wasn't thought out. It gave cash grab, but Yachty seems like he gets his hands busy with a few of those. But either way, we're in the think about bows, you know what I mean? And the fact that like people of all various different gender expressions are starting to take on these things and embrace them and kind of see where they resonate with their own femininity. And that's become a more commonplace topic of discussion and something that other people support. And so I feel like when he's doing these things, it's kind of just tying into that. But now we're taking it to other levels or we're taking it to other places or to other instances. Like something like this pose or just like the hand is such a it just speaks to the power of body language because just the idea of holding a bag in this way, if I was to walk down the block, it's immediately the connotations that this holds in our culture is actually quite interesting and what it makes people kind of define you as a person. And once again, it's all performance. And so I think that that's the point. And so it's just another instance of what I was talking about before. I don't know what y'all think on the matter. If anyone has anything else they'd like to share before I talk about Capri Holdings and Tapestry real quick. But what do we think? What did we think of Doja? What did we think of Uzi? Were you feeling the Uzi looks? Were you feeling weekend one more? Weekend two more? If no one else chimes in. Week one was nice. Doja ate both. Yeah, I agree. Even though it was the same looks, I was surprised. I thought that Brett was actually gonna like, or Doja would pop out with a different look, just because she does go so hard with the looks these days. Mm, either way, shit, all my stuff is dying on me. My phone is dying. Everything's dying. So before, I feel like I may just talk about the Capri Holdings tapestry situation. Before I go, I'd like an Uzi and an Anita Max Win album, please. Don't bring them two back together. Week two for Uzi got me feeling kind of bad for them. Like, what's tea? Yeah, we saw the voguing performance as well. I forgot to even mention that being a part of it. But I believe I saw y'all saw that post from Barbie Sway with Uzi, so maybe she's gonna be coaching him or what. I hope that wasn't her who coached him before. Cause cause they so sorry. It'll take me a minute. But they fucking crashed out on that stage. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say. One more thing I wanted to say. The croc bag in particular is not just any Birkin Himalaya croc, but Uzi had actually had Chrome Hearts customize the bag. So it's a custom, basically, Chrome Hearts Hermes kind of collab design. And once again, even though this time around it was something that Uzi commissioned, like I've been calling out, like Chrome Hearts has been landing these really big moments in the pop culture sphere throughout the years. More recently, like they've been ramping up, and I'd love to see it. I feel like we're getting ready to see a lot of really big moves coming from them. I mean, they've already made huge moves, but I feel like we're getting ready to see like some new things bubbling up from Chrome Hearts in the next couple years. Their kids are now helping to run the business. Yeah, and they're definitely, and I know that they're already really like tied to the music industry. So they're doing their thing of kind of getting the influence out there. I think that's why we are seeing the bubbling. That would make sense. Um, I just wanted to bring up. Let me see if I can find it. So this was what I was saying earlier today about Tapestry and Capri Holdings. Are we familiar with those things and about what's going on with the fashion business deals and things? So we talked about this in a Yungfleur live before, but there are two luxury conglomerates, which are Tapestry and Capri Holdings, two American U.S. conglomerate, American U.S. American luxury conglomerates that each own their share of a few different brands. Tapestry um, attempted or was set up a deal to acquire or buy out Capri Holdings in August, and this deal was supposed to lock in at the end of the year. But the FTC, our good girl, the motherfucking Federal Trade Commission, she said, "Not so fast, not so motherfucking fast." Okay, pause the whole situation. We're blocking it. It's not going down, baby. So apparently, the U.S. was the last kind of like party to have to sign off on this jurisdiction. And yeah, this comes at a very interesting time. And I'll get into that a little bit later with this little rant. But basically, their claim was that. So here's the thing, to be more specific, let me give you the breakdown of the brands of who owns who. And you can look at my stories from earlier today if you ever want to look back at it. But Tapestry owns Kate Spade, Coach, and Stuart Weitzman. Kate Spade, of course, is, I guess you could say, affordable luxury. And then there's Coach and Stuart Weitzman. Capri owns Michael Kors, Jimmy Choo, and Versace. Now, Capri Holdings was formerly known as Michael Kors Holdings Limited. Um, and at that time, they had Michael Kors and they had Jimmy Choo. When they went to acquire Versace, they changed the name to basically give it more of a glamorous sound and a glamorous feel, because who wants to hear that Versace is owned by Michael Kors? It just is not gonna rub, it's not gonna rub people the right way, especially out in Europe. So they changed their name to Capri Holdings and kind of try to give themselves this revamp now that they had Versace in the fold. The problem is, Capri already was not doing well financially. Michael Kors and Jimmy Choo, I mean, Michael Kors probably was more of the front runner, but Michael Kors had hoarded itself out because you could get that shit at TJ Maxx, you get that shit at Burlington Coat Factory, Marshalls. They had spun their license so far out that their brand value had definitely diminished and they had become a lot more commonplace and lost that luxury feel, which is interesting because not interesting at all. Marketing is marketing, but the Michael Kors branding is always this jet setter vibe. Like that's his demographic is the jet set. So it's always like motherfuckers in a plane or skiing in a cabin or on some like tropical destination. You know what I mean? It's very much like catching flights, not feelings. Very much all expenses paid, flued out type deal. But then like his stuff is like in a bin somewhere. Like the presentation is crazy. And I don't know how they allowed things to get so far out that like the representation of the Michael Kors brand across, retailers and across different kind of like sales fronts was not succinct and cohesive. Like that was kind of messy. But it wasn't a problem for Christmas Child because I had no problem racking up a damn Michael Kors bag for my aunties and and grandmothers and all of them. It was not a problem. But anyway, like I said, Capri was not doing well to begin with. They went ahead and acquired Versace, and then once that happened, Versace, which is also another brand that has not been doing well. I don't know if I feel like the like general public isn't aware of that, but how much are they really aware of who at all is making money? But Versace's been struggling for a while. And I remember how like the H&M collaboration that they did was like a blip that helped kind of send them up for a minute after a very dismal period for the company. But they're still need to bring they're still needing to improve on things. And I feel like them expensive ass prices are not helping. I don't know. Like I get it, but like $4,000 on a mesh dress or something is crazy. The Versace prices are out of control. Is it just me? Anyway, so Capri is Michael Kors, Jimmy Choo, Versace. So now Tapestry takes on all of these brands that are not really doing well. And so it's like they took on like it's like going in the water and we swim in and I hand you an anchor and I tell you to hold this and swim. And it's like now you're trying to swim and you're holding this weight on top. And so you've got to readjust yourself, recalibrate, and figure out how to get yourself back up, floating above water. And that that's we'll come back around to that because it looks like the FTC is trying to make sure that this doesn't happen. But once again, if Tapestry was to have acquired Capri, that would mean that Kate Spade, Coach, Stuart Weitzman, Michael Kors, Jimmy Choo, and Versace were all under one house. Now, this could be amazing, I think, because of the fact that LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, which is the European conglomerate that owns a slew of different luxury brands across food and beverage, across fashion, retail, beauty, I believe automotive as well. Like they, hold on, let me just make sure I have that right. Exactly. Yes, I had that right. But yeah, LVMH, they are the big dogs when it comes to the fashion, kind of like fashion companies that are out here globally. And aside from that, there are plenty of other very well established fashion houses, once again, all based in Europe. And compared to America, they're very much eating it. And so this would have been an opportunity for America to kind of step up to the LVMHs and kind of band together with this kind of super group of luxury brands. Now, the problem with that, according to the Federal Trade Commission, is that they feel like this will bring harm or poses a threat to American consumers. Let me read the exact quote from the officer. I'm sorry, the director. From Henry Liu, the director of the FTC's Bureau of Competition. With the goal to become a serial acquirer, Tapestry seeks to acquire Capri to further entrench its stronghold in the fashion industry. True, true shit, real shit. Um, this deal threatens to deprive consumers of the competition for affordable handbags, while hourly workers stand to lose the benefits of higher wages and more favorable workplace conditions. Michael Kors being everywhere is already a threat too. Like exactly. Um, Now getting back to what Henry Liu was talking about, to break it down, he's saying that this deal threatens to deprive shoppers, American consumers, of the competition for affordable handbags. So it would be tougher for people to be able to get their hands on affordable bags because their feeling is that with them all being under one company, that company will naturally just jack up the prices of all of their products, which is something we see like LVMH do across the board, where Louis Vuitton will increase their prices on leathers all day, every day. But that's something that we've been seeing across, um, excuse me, the luxury industry because of what's going on with leather. Um, but getting back to this, yes, they basically feel like it will be tougher because then Versace will jack up their already astronomical prices. I guess Michael Kors will do the same. I guess, and whatever. While hourly workers stand to lose the benefits of higher wages and more favorable workplace conditions. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too familiar on how they speculate that that will be done. Since when did we really care about the customer affording things? Thank you. Thank you. So why wasn't it a problem that authentic brands have so many companies? Thank you. Thank you. They are so weird. There are so many other things going on. There are so many other acquisitions that are happening. There are so many other monopolies that are being set in place that we should be focusing on. For them to stick their noses and put all of their attention and their effort into Michael Kors and Kate Spade and Stuart Weitzman joining up with Versace and Jimmy Choo and Michael Kors. Come on now. Let's be realistic. Like this is not the biggest threat. Like they said, the harm to American shoppers. Ridiculous. I call cap as well, Samia. So I yeah. While hourly workers stand to lose the benefits of higher wages and more favorable workplace conditions, I don't see how that would be any there would be any difference on that being possible whether these people were banded up or not in America. If that was the case, LVMH would not be able to buy Tiffany. Well, LVMH, that's a good question. Wouldn't but okay, well, LVMH is a European company that acquired Tiffany. So technically it's not a bunch of it's LVMH. I think the difference would be that they're saying that once again, these are all American affordable luxury brands. Like for the most part, they're all within the same kind of range. And so they're saying that it's like a good they're alleging that they're it's just a crazy even thing to break down, you know what I mean? Because it's to say as if these six brands or seven brands are the only affordable luxury brands that people are able to buy. Nigga, I could turn around and make an affordable luxury bag right now. I could price something in an affordable luxury range right now. There are independent creators, independent designers, indie brands across the board. We have social media now where people are being put onto these indie designers from across the different stretches and different corners of the motherfucking earth, okay? And able to make purchases, able to buy people's entire stock out because they only make 5 pieces at a time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what kind of climate they think that we're in. So brands can't raise their prices. And that's the other thing. I don't understand what's the big deal. Like, if you can't afford it, then just, I don't know. If you can't afford it, then just don't buy it. Like, and this isn't us having a conversation about like buying H&M, buying like an H&M white t-shirt versus, for like $5 on sale versus buying like a good cotton one from whatever that's uh like organically whatever sustainable and all of that kind of stuff and is like $30. This isn't about like getting necessities. This is about affordable luxury. They even said it themselves. This is affordable luxury. And the harm to to US shoppers, oh my God, that they cannot afford to get a Versace bag because now it's twice the price. Girl, then just don't fucking buy it. Because you know what happens when people can't afford to buy something and a bunch of people stop buying that shit? The brand's not able to sell that shit. And then you know what happens? Unless they're being backed or being funded by someone else that's just funneling their money into a black hole, they go under. That's how business works. If you're not selling, if you're not making money, you're not gonna last. So I'm just like, why are we acting like this is not how this thing works? You are the Federal Trade Commission. So I was just like, please, please save me this sob story. Threatens to deprive consumers of the competition for affordable handbags. There will never be in a lack of competition over affordable handbags. You can go to, I think we have more competition than we've ever had. And the Federal Trade Commission should know that, if anyone. Anyway, and then workers standing to lose the benefits of higher wages and more favorable workplace conditions. My only thing to that is that I just wonder what would be the difference between these brands, Tapestry and Capri operating individually as opposed to together. How would that change the risk of that turning out, of the risk of unfavorable workplace conditions, the risk of no higher wages or kind of like a hold on wages? How would that change it, whether they join together or not? So this is when Tapestry argued that the federal agency, and I quote, fundamentally misunderstands both the marketplace and the way in which consumers shop. Bitch, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Y'all not talking about nothing. Like, seriously. Misunderstanding both the marketplace and the way in which consumers shop. People are shopping online. People are finding retailers, they're finding vendors from all over the place. We're able to do that now. So to assume that, like, once again, the fact that we can't get Kate Spade and Stuart Weitzman, and then that's even the other part, because I'm like, Stuart Weitzman, yeah, I guess they carry accessories, but they're a shoe brand first. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. And then the last part of that, the last part of that, Tapestry saying that the federal agency fundamentally misunderstood the marketplace and the way in which consumers shop. You definitely misunderstood the way in which consumers shop, baby, because if you understood the way consumers shop, you would know that they are not shopping at the brands that Tapestry and Capri own like that. And you would know that it's actually in their best interest not to join together, because if they join together, I don't think that Tapestry is gonna be able to pull those other three brands up in time with enough speed to kind of like get things back afloat with all the brands now kind of like on their ship. I just don't think that if Tapestry acquires Capri and takes on these brands and their problems, you know, is given, taking on Shorty and her badass kids, like, or, Shorty and his badass kids. Like, it's very much three consecutive problems that are hemorrhaging money, and that's going to be out the gate as soon as they buy out or successfully buy out Capri. Let the government focus on making rent affordable, not this. Child, let's talk about the things that matter. Let's talk about Meta and Facebook and all of the and Instagram and them trying to monopolize the social media space. No one wants to talk about that. If the sale goes through and later it goes bad, which brand will they sell first? I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I know that Versace is public, but I feel like there would be a call to pull them out. Just because like it would just do such like it would do such a further blow to Versace's brand image because they already look kind of crazy in this Capri Holdings situation, and people already know that they're not making money like that. We shout out, rest in peace to the Fifth Avenue Versace flagship location. I only went there once, child. It's fucking closed now. It's gutted. It still looks like a whole fucking mansion in there, but it's closed. Anyway, men on TikTok. They want to get in TikTok's ass, baby. Feels like they are licensing. Yeah, Versace definitely has been doing some licensing. We've seen throughout the sorry, we've seen throughout the years they've done licensing to do furniture, to do dishware, to do other just basically home decor in general. Some of it feels so cheap. It looks cheap. And not for nothing, I always complain about this because I work in jewelry, but I'm like, for y'all to charge the prices that you charge on your jewelry when it is just plated like brass is crazy to me. Like charging hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for just basic ass plated brass is unbelievable. But yeah, their prices are crazy. But yeah, I'm just like, we've got to be real here. There are bigger things to be worried about than two fashion brands linking up. And on the one hand, like I said, there is this risk of them folding under and being crushed by the weight of Capri Holdings' problems. But then there's also on this other side, if everything does turn out right, this is an opportunity for them to compete with LVMH. Now, I mean, where does that leave us in the end? Who knows? Who knows? But we will see how this will pan out. The FTC is suing and they have some time to go, but I don't know. I don't. What do you think? Do you think that they're going to win in the end? Who do you think got it? I feel like Tapestry and Capri could win this only because once again, it's like it's this weird assumption that it's the entire range of affordable handbags suddenly gone. That's not how that works. Because naturally, in this capitalistic society, once they decide to level up and they make themselves unable to afford, someone's gonna come and fill that space because that doesn't just stay there open. Like there's not, it's not like the 200 or 250 to 1,000 range just sits there and then like no one touches it. Like someone's gonna come and be like, okay, here is the bag that you can afford because you can't afford the Versace bag that is already expensive and the Kate Spade bag that is now doubled in price after this acquisition. Now here's that bag. Like, it's just very willfully ignorant. It's very unrealistic. It's very, I don't know. I think the sale will go through. This is a BS lawsuit. I agree. I agree. And it makes me want. And the thing is that the argument is so weak, especially coming from the FTC, who should know, who should know and understand that. It makes me wonder, like, who's behind this, and like, what's the goal? Because this wasn't gonna hold a candle in court. It's still going on right now, so we don't know the final judgment on the case. They only just started up this past week. But it makes me wonder, like, who is responsible? Like, what's the reason? It'd be so hard for fashion when it comes to law or fashion designers. Mhm. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, I'm feeling like I might clip things here for the night. And we can talk about Zendaya and stuff another time. I might jump on Instagram tomorrow. I don't know. I'm feeling like it. I might just get on for the one time just to get folks back over here because child, we need more people to join on. Shout out to all of y'all who have joined on and been sharing the live and sharing the YouTube with your people. Once again, I really appreciate y'all. Go ahead and give this a like, a thumbs up, if you will, as well. I forgot to ask about that, but I would appreciate it. Also, shouldn't they want rich people to buy expensive US brands, not from other countries? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is very counterproductive. And so I'm like, who is responsible? Something isn't something isn't adding up. Something's not adding up. We are here, Morgan. I'm like, why would you want to stop? Like, this is like kind of like very on par with US capitalistic interests. Like, why would you want them to not challenge or compete with um the European luxury industry, especially when that's a place that we clearly don't like we don't compete, where they have us beat. I would think they would encourage things like this. Thank you for the thumbs up. Something in the milk ain't clean, and I want to know who. I feel like there's some money's being thrown around. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But this non-compete situation is a load of BS. I wish there was more information, but I feel like it's gonna roll out. Mm. It's very interesting information. But anyway, child, as I said, I'm gonna hop off for the night. It's been real, it's been great. I'll be back on and I'm going to hop on the Instagram if I do make it on tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then it'll be Thursday. And I'll get on the Instagram just to show some love, just to remind the people. If you are someone that doesn't follow on the Instagram, please do. It is Yungfleur, just like you see it here. What else? What else? Stay tuned for more. I'm planning on recording an episode tonight. So wish me luck that I don't fall asleep. But I want to kind of discuss some of the things we talked about here and more. So look out for that as well. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, feel free to DM your boy here or on Instagram. You know I'm always open. And I look forward to seeing y'all again very soon. Have a good night. Take care.